us realized that we were being groomed for one another.
We knew we needed an extraordinary love to withstand past relationship experiences, everyday bad choices, and our past hurts.
It is clear that we were brought together as one for a purpose. And as we share our love story, we pray that from our experiences, you can gain positive takeaways to use in your own life and relationship.
Oh my goodness.
My goodness.
Welcome.
We're back for another. Yo, snap the fingers, baby.
We are live.
Do it again. Yes, we are live. Welcome to another Conversations with the LoveByrds.
Hey, I'm Darlene Bird.
And I'm William Bird with the LoveByrds.
And we love people and we love love and we love you. We are so glad that you are joining us for another episode of Conversations with the LoveByrds.
Yes.
So come on in here.
We're gonna give you come on in here while we do our housekeeping, of course.
Yes.
And like and share. Remember, subscribe and like and share to Feel Good Talk.
Tag your boo. So you can watch together.
Absolutely.
Come on in here. We're excited.
Yes.
We have some guests with us tonight, just going to be interviewing us.
Absolutely.
About our journey.
Yes. It's an anniversary month for us. Again, congratulations. Yes. The LoveByrd. Years,
2 years since we were obedient and put pen to paper and wrote our story.
Absolutely.
And put it out there. So here we are, 2 years and 650 sold copies.
Something.
In 2 years and spreading that story all around the world.
Yes.
And so we have Amy and Boyd who are going to be interviewing us this evening. We're so grateful for them.
Yes, thank you. I'll give them a
That
round
is
of applause.
the Feel Good Talk Amy.
Yes, the Feel Good Talk Amy.
The Feel Good Talk Amy. Yes. Accompanied with Boyd, and they're going to be asking us some questions as this is the second anniversary of us publishing our story. And so it should be fun. So tag your friends.
Yes.
Make sure you make sure you share. Good evening, Amy and Boyd.
How y'all doing?
Good evening, my lovers.
Hey, listen, I gotta tell this story.
Say something again. I thought I heard an echo. Y'all good?
Yes, we're good.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Okay, no, then I'm gonna go dive right in because I gotta tell this story. So Amy was our first subscriber. Well, she bought our very first online book. And I promised Amy dinner 2 years ago.
And how she did it so fast. People saying, hey, guess what, guys? We wrote a book.
Story. She
it's
said,
called The LoveByrd Story. And then next thing I know, ping. We couldn't get the sense out before Amy, and we appreciate Amy.
We thank her so much.
She was walking with us before, and through, and during, and still with this journey.
Yes.
So we appreciate her being one of our number one fans.
And I'm paying up today. We got burgers coming.
Yeah, so come on in, guys. Conversations with the LoveByrds, and join us as we kind of talk about this journey. If you have questions, please ask them in the comments.
Yes, this is going to be one of those type nights.
Yes.
We're going to be answering questions all about this LoveByrd journey.
Yes.
So, without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to our questionnaires, our question host right over here. So, Amy, what you got going on over there? Not like you.
Right. Yes, I'm excited. So, of course, inquiring minds want to know, what was your inspiration for your relationship?
Oh my
goodness.
Ooh, the inspiration for the relationship.
She
came out right. You ain't even like, she came out hitting hard. So,
I'm gonna let you take this one.
We want to know.
I was a little slow. I was a little slow.
She was with this.
I was a little slow getting to that where he was sure. So what?
Yeah.
Why were you so sure? Like,
well, it was divine. It was for me, and I tell the story all the time. It was more divine than anything for me. It was at a time in life when I was listening to God and hearing from God, and like I said, I was kind of feeling like I was lonely. So the only person I really had to talk to was God. And through the conversations them sincere, real in-depth conversations I was having with God, he revealed some things to me. you know. And in hearing it, it kind of, you know, you start to get that fine tune, you know, you start to hearing God and things just started happening. And then from there, it's like a whirlwind.
Wow.
But I would say the inspiration is divine. It was a divine inspiration. It was God felt. It was God heard. So.
And so some of this, all of this, you'll find in our book, The LoveByrd Story, how the class clown and the class president developed an extraordinary love. And you can see about even I think the moment we met is in there. Story
Absolutely.
about the moment that we met. Then there was a little disappearance.
One of those.
There was a little, you got ghosted.
Just the PA
you had to find me. You had to find me.
Things, yes.
But you were so sure.
Right. Right.
Yeah, you were so sure that I was the one, and I'm like,
I would, you know, I want to say that, you know, because I was, my plans weren't working.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Things
What?
Yeah. How's that working out?
How's that working out for you? True confession, you know, I mean, just getting down to it, and that's why I was in the place where I was at. You know, honestly, I was this far from homelessness. You know, to tell the true story. You know, working, but you know, not securing anything, not really, you know, making a difference. You know, making any changes, and I just can't. I got fed up with myself. You know, I got fed up with myself and I said, you know what? This is enough. And like I said, I turned to God and, you know, he changed my focus. He changed my feelings. He changed my focus. And
he changed a lot of things.
Yeah. Now we're looking at that future he promised me. You know what I mean? You know, sometimes people, you know, they be like, well, gosh, man, it looked like it was so easy. Well, when you interject God, everything is possible with God. Anything is possible with God. He can do everything in all things. So, you know, where I thought it was going to be this monstrosity of an ordeal to take on, he kind of smoothed the path. He said, you know, you take care of this and I got the rest.
Okay. On page 40, I was trying to see what you wrote about that.
Yeah.
On page 40. And the way the LoveByrd story is written, there's his story and there's my story. Right. So each chapter kind of looks at it from both directions. So I'm looking at page 40.
And what did I say?
At the bottom of page 40, it says, this is you.
Yes.
I still have a heart full of love.
Right.
I never gave up on the dream that one day I would find the woman of my dreams and I will spend my entire life making sure that she has everything pertaining to happiness at her fingertips. That is why I was so sure and adamant once I laid eyes on Darlene that she was the one I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. The Bible says he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. In Proverbs 18:22, I found her and favor followed me to make having her possible. True. I needed his direction, guidance, and strength in order to make it happen because Darlene was no easy catch. She was way out. But God said I could have her, so I was going to get my prize.
There it is.
All right.
That's what I wrote.
Okay.
So we need to throw a plug out there for the book, because if you don't have it, you are missing out. How can they?
But listen, the boy thought that was funny, didn't he? But boy, you know what I said?
That's so nice.
I talk to the man every day, and he ain't said nothing to me.
Okay, you know what? That's a good segue. That is a great segue. Now, I have a question for you. Like on in the book, like on page 49, where it says the word is out.
Right.
When did you both come to a mutual understanding about sharing about your relationship, about letting the world know? And letting family know about y'all's relationship.
My God.
We're going to tell a whole different story about this one too. Because, this is a true story. We're
My
gonna
God.
definitely tell a different story about this.
Oh my God. Boy.
Here comes her side of the story. I'm gonna stick with the God
He
stuff. I'm gonna
asked
stick
me.
with the God.
Bring it, Billy. Bring it, Billy.
I'm gonna
Put
stick
this
with the
on
God.
me.
I'm
Put
gonna
this on
put
me.
this on her. Yes.
Boy, he asked me after we had a beach experience, and where he poured out his heart. You'll see that in a book about the beach experience, where he just expressed this whole mission that he had for and vision that he had for our relationship. And I said, okay, that was a nice speech. So he asked me to go home with him to our home. We're from Chester, Pennsylvania, although we live and we met in Atlanta. He asked me to go home with him for an event that was happening around Thanksgiving. And I'm like, oh Lord, because at this time, our relationship is not out there. My best friends don't know. And I said, they will jump me. You understand? I would get a ghetto girl beat down. Nobody knows about this, right? And I don't even know that this is going to work. So I said, I tell you what. And at this point, we have been seeing each other every single day. If you look at the 1 hour part of our story, I said he could have 1 hour, and we figure out that this isn't going to work in 1 hour. That's all the time we needed to know that this isn't going to work. And he came every single day for his 1 hour.
Nah, I came every single day for the past 8 years.
And I'm still saying, I don't go with you. I'm not your girlfriend. So I said, I started feeling a little guilty. And I said, you know what? I tell you what, come November 1st, at this point, we're at it's like around September, October. I said, it's September. I said, come November 1st, if I don't have any red flags, because if I get red flags, I'm out. Come November 1st, if I don't have any red flags, we'll go ahead and plan to go home together for Thanksgiving. And he said, bet. Okay.
Yeah, I'm laying my money on this
one word.
Hey, Boyd, I'm laying my money on this one.
Okay, but I wake up on November 1st to a Facebook post which says, guess what, everybody? I'm coming home and I'm bringing home the trophy.
What? Oh, no.
Billy.
And a picture of the two of us. And boy, not just any picture. The picture is the two of us watching TV with like a throw rug that's over the both of us. It looks like we laying in bed because we up under this throw rug watching the movie. Why did you pick that picture of all pictures? And oh my God, I said, oh no, take it down. Take it down. You can't put that out there. Take it down. He said, no, Darlene. The world needs to know. And you said November 1st, and they're gonna know. And I'm not hiding this anymore. And I'm panicking. I'm hyperventilating. We broke Facebook crashed that day with like 1,000 likes and comments.
Yep.
The phone is ringing off the hook. My friends are like, they probably was just at a party somewhere. They're like, no, look at the picture. Look at that post. They together. No, they're not. No, they can't.
Really, like, it ain't no go backs now. It ain't no go backs.
Where is the reverse delete
30-day return policy?
Where is the reverse delete button? And he was so happy. And everybody was like, Billy and Darlene.
Yes.
Okay, I see that. That's good. Because Darlene was always very serious and straight-laced and methodical. And Billy was the wild child. Spontaneous, off the hook. I mean, doing everything that a lot of things that Darlene had never, ever, ever, ever done. Billy did all of those things. So they were like, I can see it. How Darlene is just what Billy needs to settle his butt down. And Billy is what
bring
Darlene
her
needs
butt out.
to bring her butt out.
Yes.
And make her have fun and make her laugh and make her loosen up. And because I've been a grown-up my whole life. Even as a child, I've been a grown-up my whole life.
True story.
So so that and at this at this point, it had only been several months.
Yes.
And so, Boyd, just to kind of speed that up, this was around October. It was September. The speech at the beach was right after Labor Day.
Right after Labor Day.
And so that was right after Labor Day. So you talking
Hour,
September,
30,
November 1st, he put that post up there.
December 24th, we were engaged.
And May 28th, we were married.
And May 24th,
May 24th, we were married.
She wanted to get married on my birthday. She still says
I still say, because I say, when we went to pick a date, you was like, May 28th is the best day in the world. So, the word came out like a whirlwind, Boyd, much to my chagrin and my inability to delete and take it down. And of course, the phone rang off the hook. My cousin, a male cousin called, what did I hear that you with Birdman? You with Birdman? How did that happen? Like, huh? Like, people were like, no, because they are just way too different, just totally different lifestyles and different paths, and they just didn't put. I said, baby, we're gonna be Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston.
That's what she called it.
So we had a question.
Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston, they think you're gonna turn me out.
Right. So we had a question in the comments, Darlene. Anthony Banks asked, how long did it take you to get over that Facebook post?
I still haven't got over that Facebook. I curse every time it pulls up.
Like in memories. You remember you did this?
I can't believe. I still haven't gotten.
Right,
he just put me on Front Street. Yep. I didn't have a chance to let nobody know nothing.
No warning.
No, my friends was like.
And then, you know what though? It was crazy sounding, even to me, for real. I ain't even gonna lie to you. But I just remember that laser focus that I had in the pursuit of Darlene is just, I was like I said, I was trying to be, trying to change ways. And I think the Bible verse goes, choose a good reputation over riches. You know what I mean? A good reputation is something I wanted to have, a better thing, I forget, as Proverbs 22 or something like that. So in looking for that good reputation and restoring my rep and being that man, that husband,
I remember you making little comments like, man, if I don't do X, Y, Z, it would be like punching God in the face after you just gave me everything that I asked for. If I don't do this, man, it's like slapping God in the face.
It'd be like slapping God in the face.
If I don't do this, and you were just like that laser focus, like I'm walking right, I'm talking right, I turn right, and I'm keeping straight, and I'm never turning around.
Trying to get that A, man.
Yeah.
Trying to get that in.
So what I'm hearing, Darlene, initially, it sounds like you guys were total opposites. So was there a no to the family, and how are they now? What are they saying about Mr. Bird now?
So and if you know my kids, they live all over East Coast, West Coast. They were spread out. There was what do you call it on TV?
Intervention.
An intervention.
It was an intervention. They
all got on flights.
They got on flights.
And we had dinner at the airport. When everybody came in, it was dinner at the airport at a restaurant. And
without
it was
me, of course.
Yeah, Mom, come by yourself, Mom.
Yeah.
Come by yourself, Mom. One of those. And it was, Mom, are you lonely? Are we not giving you enough love?
Listen.
Why do we, Mom? No. And there was some like, we see that Mr. William, we see that he makes you laugh and smile, but can y'all just slow this down? Can you wait a while? Because we're hearing some stories, about his past, and we don't think that he's, marriage material, and Mom,
you say what they say.
They was like, Mom, he smoke, he drink, he party.
There you go.
He throw up the shot. He wanted to throw up the
there
shot.
You go.
All in your business. All in your business. Just put your whole life out there.
He smoked weed every day. He smelled like weed. Mom, what is going on with you, Mom?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they thought that for real. I was turning her out. I was gonna turn her out.
And listen, I told my kids, listen, my kids know, listen, I know how to hear from God. That you know. I'm not going to say that I'm delirious or I'm blindsided, but this is what I promised my kids at the airport that day. If God says run, I will run. I'm not going to override it. If God says run, I will run. That's the only thing I can promise you right now. I'm not understanding some of this right now, but I'm not fearful, and God is not telling me to run. And at the same time, Billy was changing right in front of my eyes. I didn't even realize it took a few days later that he had stopped smoking weed. He had stopped drinking. I mean, he went to non-alcoholic beer for over a year. Yeah, boy, do you believe that? And even the test was, we were going to one of his events, but his family has, and I was like, oh man, I know how they turn it up. This gonna be the test.
You went right into leading into where I wanted to go next. Okay. So in your book on page 133, you got like, so that people can reflect, or people can sit there and pose the questions, and they can ask their significant other that question. Right. So you was already leading into it when you said, I was going to say, what was the last thing that got your full commitment? And you were just mentioned talking about, making that decision, having a relationship with God, and figuring out, what, if this is going to be it, is this going to be the guy? Is Mr. Bird going to be the man that I'm going to be fully committed with? And if God don't say it, then guess what, Mr. Bird, I'm sorry.
And I'm glad you said that. Yeah, I'm glad you said that, boy, because just like I was saying, I was hearing from God. Her not hearing from God was just as important. You know what I mean? Amen. So that's where that balance, that counterbalance. If God isn't saying anything, and guess what? And you already know Darlene is a minister. See, I mean, her degree is in ministry. Darlene is steeped in it. Her God sense is way, up here. So her not hearing it for anything from God was just like hearing from God.
And one of the scriptures, that there are some scriptures in the back of the book too, but one of the scriptures is the one that says how God will use the foolish things to confound those who think they're wise. This was funny to a lot of people. They probably was like, man, I'll give this a year. I'll give this a year.
A year.
But then
not even a year.
It came to be undeniable.
Yes.
I mean, even with my children, and I think the question was about now, my children love Billy. He'll talk to them sometimes more than he talks to me. They love that he loves me with everything that he has. They love that he serves me. He loves the things that I love. So if something's important for me, even when it comes to them, he's right beside me. They love that their mom, they don't have to worry about mom. Mom is taken care of. Mom is good. They have fun with him. They laugh with him. They're comfortable around him. And it's totally, all of that has changed, and there's been some conversations. I remember, when my son was like, Mom, you taught me how to love who I really, really love, and don't worry about, what other people think or what other people feel. I learned that from you. There were some learnings in it. Absolutely. There were some learnings in it. Hey, Fatima. So there were some learnings along the way.
Very good, baby.
Yeah, and all I could tell them is, listen, if God says run, I don't want anything for my life that God doesn't want for my life. I need y'all to know that.
She see those hound dogs and everything.
So it wasn't. So it wasn't the pressure of the Facebook post. Anthony said, was it the pressure of the Facebook post?
It wasn't. The pressure of the Facebook post did make us kind of cross over a line.
Yeah.
Okay.
They did.
It did make us cross over a line. It was the expose.
Yes.
And now what?
Ta-da!
It was. But I will do that. That along the way, and see, God is so funny. Let me tell you what God did. Man.
Go ahead, give it up.
So that's when I hurt my back. I hurt my back. Well, he said Sunday was coming, and he was like, what are you doing on Sunday? I'm like, I go to church on Sunday. One sec, keep gonna get that. I go to church on Sunday. I don't like to miss church on Sunday. He said, can I go with you to your church? And I'm like, that's kind of my private space, man. I get my praise on. I'm crying, I'm snotting, I'm worshiping. That's kind of private. But then I got convicted. It's like, you really shouldn't tell anybody no who wants to go to church with you. You probably shouldn't do that. You stopping God from doing what God's doing. So I said, okay. But when he picked me up, I had hurt my back. My sciatic nerve was angry. So I'm crying, like, but he doesn't know that I'm kind of crying. So all in, I'm not looking at him. It hurts to sit. It hurts to stand. So after church, we get in his van. He takes me directly to the hospital. Directly to the hospital. And he's there. He's handling things. He's being the best nurse. He's with me through all of that. He has to take me home, get me out of my clothes and in the bed and situated, and he's handling things. My son comes running over and he's like, oh my God, thank you so much for picking up this medicine for me. You don't know how much this helped me. And he's managing me. He's like, you got another hour before I can give you the pain pills, but I want you to get something on your stomach. And I mean, the washer is going and the dishwasher is going, and that's when I looked down the hallway. As he was walking down the hall, I leaned all the way to the side and said, huh. I saw something different. I'm like, I've never been taken care of. I've been the caregiver for everyone in the family. Wow. I was like, huh. And how he took ownership with my son. Like, who are you thanking my son for picking up my medicine? Like, this helped me so much. You don't know how much you helped me. So he was taking ownership of me. He was taking care of me. He was serving me. He was being the perfect gentleman still, because he had to get me in my bed and take off my clothes. And mind you, I'm still saying, I don't know about this. I don't know about this. But that's the day that I saw something different. I felt God's love for me. I felt it through him.
Mm-hmm. So and did you ever feel like this was crazy?
I'm sorry.
Did you ever feel like this is just crazy? Did you ever feel like this was crazy?
Yes, she still thinks this is crazy. You don't get it.
You know what, y'all? At some point, I had to give up. I'm like, you know what, y'all, listen. Billy Bird is going to be Billy Bird. And I cannot, in the beginning, I'm like, oh, don't say that. Don't post that. Don't do that. Stop picking me up in the middle of in the Dunkin' Donuts and stop, At some point, I just said, listen. Billy Bird is gonna be Billy Bird, and I can't do a thing about it. Like, I just laugh.
Anthony asked. Now I'm gonna go back because
Anthony got a good question.
Anthony has been asking a lot of questions. I'm gonna go ahead and ask. He said, "How hard is it to relinquish that control and giving and just receive without a fight?" She didn't go down without a fight. That right there.
I'm still a minute, Anthony.
Right now, even because Darlene's. Let me get this part, because Darlene is that alpha male, and alpha female. So, sometimes us as men, we get in our heads about the alpha female, and we feel like we're losing our identity or we're being emasculated and things like that. I didn't do that with Darlene. I was able to, kind of freed her up to kind of start being the female.
It took me a minute because even the fact, like, my husband doesn't let me open doors. He doesn't let me carry bags. He does, and it took a minute because I had to do all of that. Glitches. I had to do all of that. Every once in a while I get my hand smacked. Like, what are you doing? Oh, because it took a while because I had to, as women, we'll be mothers. And if we marry a man, child, a boy, we're still doing all those things like the mom would do. Right. So it took me a while to, and I remember earlier on, we had deep conversations about everything. Mm-hmm. And I remember him saying, Darlene, do you really want a husband?
Really?
I was like, do you really, really want a husband? And I had to say to him, and I prayed about it. I'm like, because I wanted to answer this right. And I said, you know what? I feel like my whole life I was carrying things that I was never intended to carry. I was shouldering things that I was never intended to shoulder. I did it because I had to, not because I wanted to, but I believe that a woman should be the woman and let the man be the man. And I would love to have a covering that's praying over me, that's caring for me. I would love to sit down and shut up and sit on my hands, stop running my mouth, Amy. Every thought that comes across my head don't have to come out my mouth.
Right.
And somebody else that I talked to last time, will he get there without me having to say it? Then I should not have said it. It may not be on my time, but shut your
or
mouth.
her term.
Or my terms.
That's what that,
but let me fall back and be the woman. And you know what? I loved it.
I never experienced
never. You know, my sister was born before I was even one. So I mean, I've always been a grown-up, an adult, a responsible one. But I don't even know where my pocketbook is. My husband I fell way back, honey, and turned my brain all the way back because somebody else was using theirs. I loved it. And when I say, and my husband was in that, he said, you get to be the baby right now. He babied me and still does. But I mean, the first year, listen, y'all, let me put you in the tub. My husband draws my bath. Let me get you in the bathtub. Let me get you cleaned up. I get out like a little baby, ready to be lotioned down, y'all.
Hey, I got a question. I got a question for Billy. I got a question. Billy, I got a question for you for the fellas.
Okay. Absolutely.
Man, it sounds like that you were doing absolutely everything right. I mean, everything right in this situation. And what I want to know is that, okay, tell us in your words, okay, what did it mean to be a provider for her? Because she sat here and she just said that, she just had to just sit back and just let you do it, because it was just like autopilot just kicked in, and you was just like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, there's brothers out there that struggle. Okay, you and Darlene is the LoveByrds. Okay, you can bring it to the men and let us know, what it is to be like, or to know that I want to be a provider, and then the things that you did to be a provider.
Wow.
Well, let me first say this. I didn't do everything right, guys. Yes, none of us ever do everything right. It's a trial and error, a learning process, a learning curve. Most is stuff that I never really done. In my first, I was married I was in a 20-year marriage. 20 years. I never spent 1 year faithful to my wife. Not 1 year in 20 years was I ever faithful. I just it was me finding out when Darlene talks about that part in the book when I wrote, what did you just now say about, I was finding myself. I felt like I had a lot of love. I had a real true love inside of me. And I wanted to experiment that to the fullest.
And when you talk about providing, it's a lot of ways that he provided things that I had a deficit for. Because I also was married for 27 years to someone who didn't emote, wasn't good conversationalist. Left his mom apron, grabbed on mine, and was like, it's coming along with children. And I had to be everything, or anything that got done, I had to do it. So I had some deficits. So when you talk about he provided for me in a lot of ways. He provided friendship. He provided for me emotionally. He provided for me by listening and caring. Keeping his hands on me was big because I had some emotional deficits and some things that I had to overcome there. He provided reassurance. I never thought that I was pretty or beautiful. He made me believe it.
So for the guys, for
love and care.
For me, for myself though, was just getting out of my head. I do this exercise all the time.
That's a good question.
So
make sure that question comes back.
I do this exercise with myself all the time because I have a lot of things that have went on just recently where I had to get out of my own head. And I started a very good friend of mine. His name is Christopher Maine. He's an actor. We went to school together. He's a very good friend of mine.
He has a write-up in our book.
I talk to Chris all the time. And we were talking about, just the power of darkness and being in the darkness. And I I stumbled across the fact that everything was in my head, and I closed my eyes, and the first thing I experienced was darkness. And I found that I was battling myself because I wanted to open my eyes because I wanted to see the light. You see what I'm saying? So me changing I was starting to see the light. I was starting to see God's light shining, what I really wanted in a relationship, you know. And when we open up our eyes to see that light and come outside of ourselves, we as men can overcome that thing that's telling us not to do the things that we know are right and will help grow and nourish and nurture and protect and provide. You know what I'm saying? If we get outside of ourselves and open ourselves up to that light, Jesus said, "I'm the way, the truth, and the light." I gotta go back, keep falling back on this God thing because he's in my spirit right now.
Yeah.
And that part where God, I speak about in the book where, you know, Christ loved the church like you know what I'm trying to say, man. I get kind of stumbling, but loving like Christ loves in the church and loving my wife like that, that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That and I don't care what religion you are or whatever, but if you just take into that, get outside yourself, my mentality, and you know, try to open yourself up to the light and love, you can do whatever you want to do, man.
Yeah.
You can overcome those things that's stopping you from making your relationship a better relationship or making your marriage a better relationship. Or, you know, I mean, it's just so much in that part of me finding myself that, you know, finding what, and that's finding that real love.
And it's a lot of questions in the book that ask you as individuals about a time where you found yourself, or a time where you had to shift your paradigm, or a time where you had to give up some things because what you wanted was so much more important.
I think
a lot of those questions.
Oh man, I'm so glad you said that because I wanted to make sure I bring this up because I got to shout out my pastor, B.A. Jackson, because Amy, remember what pastor said? What did you just now say?
You gotta want something more.
No.
That you don't want to stay there. Or,
oh gosh, I just was on the tip of my
sacrifice. Is it from Love's
not LoveByrds. He says
giving up something because you want something.
Yeah,
more.
God. Yes, that part when he said God wasn't trying to take something away from me, giving up those things. He was give me something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And boy, that just rings home so well in this whole LoveByrd story. You know what I mean? He wasn't trying to take away my freedom as far as a guy and this and that and the other, or my masculinity and being, you know, her provider and things like that, or, you know, succumbing to her needs and her issues and things like that. He was trying to really give me something, hence the LoveByrds.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There was a question: what made you stay in that marriage for 27 years unhappy? And that is a good question. It's a power-packed question.
What?
I started addressing that on page, I think, 31 in the book, in the marriage, where I was trying to find, I never saw forever, for one thing. I never saw forever with that. And then I started searching for ways out. But we can have some standards for ourselves that we impose on ourselves, and it could keep us from what God has for us. And we mean well, and we think that they're noble. The reason I married was because I got pregnant. I wasn't going to have kids without a father, right? And the reason I stayed was because I felt like I would have been selfish. As long as I wasn't being like physically abused, kids weren't being physically abused, I would have been selfish to walk away while my kids were young. I felt that. Now, everybody doesn't feel that way. But I felt like it was better for the kids to have him there. My kids were very active. I don't care if he's just dropping off or picking up. It was better to have him there until they got of an age. And it got to the point where, and I wrestled with it a lot, you know, and I was like, God, I know you don't want this for me. You see this. Who would want this for their daughter? And it's all of this in the book. And it got to a point where my kids were like, Mom, now that they're dating, have relationships of their own, they were like, Mom, we know all that you did to hold this family together. We don't need you to do that anymore. We would rather you be happy. Because now they're starting to date people who are serving them and they're having these great conversations and they're laughing and they're having fun and they're realizing mom is about the business. There is no fun. There is no laughter. Y'all, I never played any games at all, but I was there. Games were always played at my house because I was, serious about being a mom and everything was at the house. Um, and so, I was hosting, but I never knew how to play any of these because that wasn't my role. And so when I got free and I went through some counseling and stuff for myself, it was all about me for about 3 years. And I was feeling really good about myself when this one came along. And I'm like, listen, I'm good and I'm loving me. So me being with you got to feel better than that because I'm all right. And so, so he loved when I started saying,
Cha-ching.
I like how I feel when I'm with you.
Love credit.
And
You know what? You know what? Another great segue. Billy, I'm gonna put you on the hot seat. I'm gonna put you on the hot seat. But look, on page 94, I'm gonna read something.
Boy,
I'm gonna read
is
something.
good.
It's that I had planned to kidnap her for a day trip to Savannah that weekend. I dreamt that as soon as she put her blue toenails in that blue water, she was wearing blue nail polish on her toes. I would pour my heart out to her. That thought stayed on my mind the whole time while I was driving her to Savannah.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not even gonna give them the rest. I just want you to share with them a little bit of that because they got to get the book to see all the rest of it.
Yeah. So the Savannah trip was, it all culminated from the time I had come up and cleaned the yard and whatnot and the other. And
the Savannah trip.
Just hearing from Darlene and, just listening to her. So she had mentioned that, it had been all summer long and she hadn't been out to the beach.
I'm like, man, I can't believe the summer's over,
person.
man. I haven't been to the beach. My toes haven't been in any sand.
I planned this one, man. This was a
he would hear everything I would say. He would hear it. And how can I solve that? How can I give her that? How can I fix that? And if it was something that he could do, it was done. It was done. I had to be careful what I would say because he was listening. He was tuned in. Oh, I can make her smile. Oh, I could do that. And it was just the little things and then paying attention. But yeah, so, and again, at this point, he's coming to get me every day for my hour. But I get in the car, he comes bright and early and come on, I'm here for my time. And he's contemplating. The drive was weird. And I'm not a morning person. It's going to take me about an hour to wake up, then about another hour for my coffee to kick in. And I'm noticing that, okay, so we've been in the car. It's been like 2 hours. What's going on? I'm starting to wake up. He's like, we're almost there. But something's going on in his head because he's not talking to me. He does.
Because I'm thinking the whole time, I'm putting the speech together in my head. This speech has got to rock. This has got to be Obama speech, and he wasn't even president. So
he drives to Savannah, drives as far up on the sand as he could, and says, put your toes in the sand.
But by this time,
my man.
High five.
Give you a high five.
Yeah.
That's $1 billion of love credit right there,
My
Billy.
man.
He says, put your toes in the sand.
But I've gotten this revelation. So, I'm confident, I'm confident because I'm hearing from God. I'm really believing it. And I'm knowing that I'm hearing from God. So
he walks me to the edge of the water.
It was easy after that.
He walks me to the edge of the water.
Putting the words together was kind of hard for me.
And
but they flowed out pretty good though.
He gives this $1 million speech as he's touching the water about how the love that he could pour on me, it's going to go across the seas and everybody will see it and know it. And it's so authentic. They're going to feel it. And it's going to restore the faith and love for all humanity. And
yo, boy, you hear me, baby? You hear me, boy?
Bro, look. I'm taking notes.
Listen, this speech, I profess this because every time we go out, we find ourselves on another beach. I touch the water and send the love back. Amy's joined in on me on occasions where I've spreaded the love, and so
it came all the way to the Maldives.
all the way to the Maldives,
and now it's in India.
Yeah, India,
Yes.
Costa
In
Rica,
London.
in the Dominican Republic. The LoveByrd story is out there.
Everywhere.
Yes.
There's 12 or 13
Yes.
different beaches, and just
And I say
everywhere.
that to say this, it becomes easy when it becomes evident that God has told you,
Yeah.
and you start to see it, and it's starting to, things are starting to come. You start to see these things actually start to become reality. You know what I mean? There's no way like I said, I feel like I would be slapping God in the face if I did anything outside of this. You know what I mean? With so much that He's done and how far He's brought us with this LoveByrds. I had no clue how to get this to where it is now.
Yeah.
No
Remember,
clue.
you started had an anxiety attack.
Yeah, and listen, the anxiety attack. That's a great story too, because it was just,
That was after we were married.
This is after we were
You
married.
wait so after we're married to have the anxiety attack.
Yeah, I got all the way up to that point and figured out I didn't know what the heck I was doing for real. Yeah. That's when I bring into that, when you interject God into it,
You want to tell
He
him
can
about,
take
you want
it
to tell him
over.
about that moment?
He'll take it over, and he'll do
Wow.
what he's just exactly.
You want to tell him
what he
about that
said.
moment in the car?
Oh, the anxiety attack. I love this story too, but I might start crying, So this is another point where I got, real revelation, and I believe this is the last time that I really heard God say anything to me about it ever again. I'm coming home. It's 6 months into the relationship, and I'm coming home. I'm working down the airport, and I'm doing, airplanes and everything, and just a regular ride home. It did. All of a sudden, boy, it hit me. It was like, what I'm supposed to do now? I've got this woman I got to go home to. I got to provide for. I got to show all this love. I got to turn this thing into LoveByrds. You know what I'm saying? I got to, there's so much on the table now. I done put everything out there. How do I get there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm talking about break out into like this cold sweat, this feeling like I'm so anxious, I'm nervous, and I don't know what to do. I don't know whether to turn left, turn right. I'm in this moment where I'm totally lost.
That's real
totally
talk, bro. That's real talk.
Yeah, this is real talk. This is real talk right here. And boy, in just that instant when I asked, I heard. And what I heard was nothing. Everything got quiet. It seems like I could still see everything around me. Just, I don't even know where I was. I don't even know if I was still driving. I can't even remember if I was still driving. It was so surreal. And everything got quiet. And I heard this voice say, you take care of Darlene and I'll take care of the rest. And I swear, man, it scared me because it was like, like a voice, like, you can hear yourself talking to yourself.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? You can actually hear you. I know when I'm talking to myself.
Absolutely.
Smoke this joint or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Something like that, right? Something like that. And it's like I said, it scared me. And I turned around and I looked, and and it seemed like everything came back online. And when it did, I just started laughing. I started laughing out of control. Like it was such a belly laugh, like it was a hysterical laugh. Like, you just like imagine hearing the craziest joke or seeing somebody fall and slip. And it was so funny. They didn't get hurt, but it was so funny. You just laughing so hard. But at the same time, I started crying, and I'm talking about the tears is coming out of my eyes. Pour a dump in a pitcher. So I'm laughing, and I'm feeling both feelings, like a cry of happiness and a cry of joy, a laughing of happiness and laughter of joy. And it's all mixed together, kind of, you know what I mean? And that's when I really knew. And that's when the LoveByrds really, I think, took off. That's where God started really.
Because your answer to that was,
And I wrote this down, and I swear I said, because when I thought about what we were going to talk about and reflecting and reminiscing, I said the first thing that came to my mind, and not even the first thing came to my mind. I woke up this morning. I get several marriage things that come on in my email. I get devotionals every morning. I've got about 6 or 7 different ones that are my favorites that send me stuff every morning, newsletters, articles, things like that about marriage and relationships. And the very first one comes from the one that comes in first most of the time is my awesome marriage devotional thing, whatever. Right. Anyhow, and it always gives you it always makes you ponder something first. And this is what it literally said when I read it. It said, "My may be great, but it may not be God's best for me. When we bring God into our dreams and bring him in, he can change the focus, the feelings, and the future." And man, that's why we're doing with the packet. That's why we're doing this right now. And
that's how the LoveByrds came about.
And that's how the LoveByrds really came about.
And his answer to that was like,
yes and amen.
When he got home, I mean, all that moment, yes and amen. But when he got home, he said, "Darlene," I said, "Why do you think you were laughing and crying?" He said, "Because that's easy.
That's
easy.
That's all I want to do anyway.
I got the easy part in this whole deal." And he has lived like that, like he's on a mission from God to take care of God's daughter, Darlene.
And I wrote this down too, just as a side note. It's like, how does it come so easy for some people?
Yeah.
How does this become such, an effortless task? And that's why, because God was all over it. He was all over it.
It's easy. His yoke is easy.
He was all over.
Yes, his yoke is
easy. It's when we fight against that is tough.
All I had to do was get in lockstep because it was already his plan. He knew the plan he had for me. All I had to do was follow in lockstep with him and follow the truth that he put in me. So that's it. That's the story right there.
That's it. And he says all the time, "Darlene, thank you so much for not saying no."
Yes. Yes, because she hears too much. So thank goodness.
My discernment gets off the chain.
Yeah, I'm so glad I don't know, maybe God put her on mute or something like that. I don't know. But thank God for that.
But listen, he made scales fall off I saw, and I talk about it in the book. He looked different to me. He sounded different to me. His behaviors were changing. And it never felt like a project. In fact, let me tell you, I wrote in this book, listen, I'm not trying to raise nobody else. I'm not trying to be nobody's mama. I'm not trying to be nobody's spirit. I'm just trying to be the girlfriend. I'm tired of training everybody and everything. I'm not doing that. If you're not finished, you're not finished. I never said you got to stop smoking, you got to stop drinking, you got to stop. I'm not training nobody. If you want to do those things, have at it. Just be honest that you're not finished. I never had to follow and because I'm not gonna be checking no phones. I'm not gonna be saying where you at, because you know where you are. You're exactly where you want to be. I'm not doing none of that. I'm not doing none of that. And listen, and you'll read in the book too. Listen, I don't know what y'all gonna say about this too, but I told I said, listen, and he made a whole bunch of promises. And I said, let me tell you something. I'm not even going to sit here and lie to you to tell you that I'm going to stick it out through the ups and downs. I'm here for the ups only.
Ups only.
Okay.
I'm not sticking around for the downs. Not that we're going to cause each other downs.
Yeah.
Why? I'm not doing that. Yeah. Now we're going to go through life, and life won't always go our way, but we're going to look at it together. We're going to walk through it together. But I'm not going. No. I'm not sticking around for no downs. I had
And we
enough
fight
downs.
fair now. We've learned to fight fair.
I had enough downs. I'm here for the ups and the ups only. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna have the best marriage ever.
Yes.
I'm not putting up with. I'm not tolerating. Nope.
Yes.
Nope. And I'm just being honest.
And because I'm the honest. One. I am the one. There's no doubt. Everybody already knows. I am the one. Yes, I listen.
And I'm Whitney Houston. But listen, I'm gonna say, and our time is almost up. But
first we gotta go. Can we get 1 second? Because I gotta go to commercial real quick.
Stay with us,
guys. We'll be right back.
Wrap it up.
And we're back, man. We want to thank you guys for joining us again for another conversation with the LoveByrds. Remember to like and subscribe to Feel Good Talk, all the Feel Good Talk podcasts.
If you haven't gotten,
make sure you get yourselves a copy of the LoveByrd story, how the class clown and the class president develop the next story they love. You can go to love-birds.com and get yourself a copy of that. We want to thank, of course, our CEO and the man behind the glass, Charles Brakely, who's handling all the technical difficulties, technical stuff in the background. Thank you, Chuck, so much for what you do.
And we're going to ask Amy and Boyd if you have any other questions for me or any questions for Billy.
I got one. I wrote a list.
I like the list on page 84.
Oh yeah.
No, she didn't talk about page 84.
No, you didn't bring up page 84.
I like the list on page 84.
That list. Huh?
Oh my goodness.
Huh.
So, Darlene, is it important to have a list?
Well, so let me say it like this. Sometimes I think I'm trying to hit it from both angles, because sometimes I think God laughs at our lists and our plans.
That's
and
what
says, you know what? That's so cute. That's so cute.
Yes.
But 87. I'm sorry.
But there was a list that I had 87. Page 87. In the midst of not getting anything that's on this list, I was doing some self-digging, and I realized that there were a lot of things that was missing from my life, and things that I would need to feel satisfied if I were to stay in this marriage, that I was not getting any of these things. And so I wrote down like what I felt was most important, things that I really, really needed to be happy, to be satisfied, to not feel stuck. Yo, I was stuck. I was stuck. And what was missing, and why wasn't it fruitful and all that? And so I had written probably 10 or 15 years before that, a list. And that list is on page 87 of the things that I would need to feel satisfied. So on page 87, I wrote down, what do I need physically? There needs to be a chemistry. I need affection. I need hands on me, all those types of things. I need cuddling. That's important to me. I need passion. And right now I have no passion. I need that. What do I need in terms of an attitude? I needed somebody who was happy and upbeat. I didn't have that. I needed somebody who was friendly and playful. Someone who could admit when they was wrong. Somebody who could cry. Because again, I'm coming from no emotions. I'm coming from not seeing a tear in 27 years. I mean, really narcissistic and no emotions. I needed that. I needed somebody who can cry. That's why I don't say, well, if he cries, I say, Lord, I asked for it. I needed somebody who was spiritual, who loved the Lord, and who was okay with praising God, and even in public, and was not ashamed of it. Somebody who could pray for me. Socially, I needed somebody who was a strong communicator of their feelings, an outgoing personality. I needed somebody mentally who could challenge me in my mind. Let's go there. You know, I was an academic. My first husband was not. And I just couldn't even have good, deep conversations. And I needed that, and I missed that. And then emotionally, I needed emotion. I needed somebody who hurt when I hurt, somebody who could feel me, and somebody who was willing to supply my emotional needs. So I had wrote all this out and it was hidden. And one of my girlfriends reminded me, remember you wrote that list? I found this list. And at this point, we're already together. And I said, do you want to see it? He said, no, 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 no. Billy didn't want to see it.
I didn't want to see it. No, I really didn't want to see
because I don't, he's probably feeling like, look, I don't want to see a list. I probably don't measure up to it. I'm not A, B, C, D, and E. But after he saw the list,
it was me.
He was like, I'm doing pretty good. My girlfriends said, Darlene, you know, you created Billy. You spoke him into existence.
Wow.
All of the stuff that you wrote out and cried and put it before the Lord, you created him. You gave some thought to what you needed. You put it before God the Father. And even though you were stuck in some stuff, God had a ram in a bush coming up the other side of the mountain for you, to give you what you need, because he is a caring father.
You know, that is awesome. You're feeling me, and you're just going straight to where I wanted to go. I mean, because in the book on page 101, you got like sections in there where you can jot down things and you can take notes and then you can reflect, and whenever you're having that tough conversation with each other, and then you were just like, and it was name something you confessed over and over until it became reality. And you were just saying that, you were just talking about that, you know. So
absolutely.
I'm looking and going over and I'm just like, wow. I mean, you hitting every cylinder with everything that I'm thinking. You just bringing it right to me.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, man, it's awesome how you just, I mean, you went exactly where I wanted to go with it, you know, and talking about it. And you know, you're letting everybody know that there's a time that you can sit back and reflect, and you can talk about your relationship and see how it's going to develop, and then have some of those tough questions that you want to bring up and ask, and whatever the case may be. And I thank you for that. You know, I do, for being so candid and transparent.
Yes. Yes.
Speaking about tough questions, one of the chapters has some tough questions that we asked every single month.
Right.
We did an assessment, and you'll find in the book that there's 4 questions that we asked every month, and we had to be brutally honest because, as we said, if we're going to do this, it's got to be exceptional. So we smushed it and smushed it and smushed it with these 4 questions every month, and we had to do it because we were trying to get the A. So you'll see in the book about, you know, trying to get the A, and what is those 4 questions that we had asked each other every month, and we had to be brutally honest, and we had to make it happen. There's some things that I need more of, less of. There's some things I need you to stop doing, and there's some things I need you to start doing. And we told each other so that we could get the A of at being what each other needed.
Right.
Nothing about our past or any other relationships, but Billy Bird needs some specific things, y'all. And I gotta do it.
And she gotta do it. And she gotta do it. I don't think she minds doing so much, but yes.
When I get the A,
you get it.
I gotta get the A. I'm going for the A. I'm going for the A.
Hey,
And
listen,
same with me.
I'm going to finish. Yeah, I'm going to finish off. I wrote just a quick list of some of the things that we did, some of the things we do. These come from some of our previous podcasts and what we talked about on a previous podcast on how we keep our relationship tight, keeping it right and keeping it tight, and things of that nature. So I've got a list, and I came up with the top 10 lists.
Oh, okay.
And this is how we're going to finish with our bird seeds.
Let me get my pen.
Get your pens. Get your pens down. Right, want to write this down.
All right.
And these come in no particular order.
Okay.
I think that it's all of them are in order if you apply all of them sincerely. So,
gotcha.
But there is one that it tops the whole list.
Okay.
So I'm going to start with number 1. Number 1 is keep your love tanks full.
Okay.
And that takes into consideration your partner. By keeping your love tank full, you're taking into consider her needs. You're taking into consider your needs, because if you're meeting her needs or meeting his needs, your needs are going to be met. No doubt about it.
I believe that.
So keep the love tanks full.
Okay.
Number 2, Don't allow anyone or anything to come between you and your spouse or your partner. Don't let outside forces, outside people, or anything come in between you and your partner. It's you and your partner alone. It's you against the world. So treat it as such. It's just
Okay.
you and her.
And this should've
Kids,
been
nobody.
This should have been next week because I got stuff to say on these.
I know.
But go ahead.
Right.
Because about how we
Right.
how we put it in there. Go ahead.
This is one of my favorites also.
Okay.
Ask and tell. And
Right.
all that is communicate your feelings, communicate your thoughts, ask your partner questions, tell your partner what you want. A closed mouth doesn't get fed. So ask and tell, in parentheses, communicate with
Got
each
it.
other. Number four,
Mhm.
stop trying to change. Stop trying to change.
Change what, the other person?
Stop trying to change, yes,
Okay.
the other person. Most relationships are better if they're organic. If you have to begin to start telling people how you want them to act or how you want them to speak, you're not getting that person their true self. So you're not getting a true love. You're getting a love that you're manufacturing for yourself. So
Dang.
stop trying to change.
LoveByrd preaching today. Don't be trying to manufacture people. We manufacture people.
No, well, I'm just saying, baby.
People do.
I'm just saying, baby. Keep that list.
Yes, sir. I'll be circling that one.
Yes.
Do I need to be circling that one?
Five,
Okay.
get some goals together. Getting goals together, setting some goals together, keep you guys involved and engaged.
Okay.
So get and set some goals together, things that you can work on. Working together brings about intimacy.
Okay.
Okay. Evaluate. Evaluation inspires or ignites growth. So when you go over, like we do with our assessments, when you are going over your assessments, you found out and you find that you've achieved some things or you've overcome some things or you've accomplished some things. By evaluating, you can plot your next steps in the growth of your relationship.
Because even if you haven't achieved the goal, at least you can see if there was effort toward the goal.
Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
This is next to.
No, I didn't. Wait, put that question back up again. Did I tell him? Oh, I wanted to be the girlfriend.
No, she did not tell me she was a minister.
Nope.
No, she didn't.
Nope.
I found that I didn't listen.
But he picked up my discernment because I could say things to him or tell him things that he never told me.
Yeah.
But I was reading it and I was picking up. He was like, "What, you some kind of angel or something?"
Yeah, I thought. Listen, I really thought.
You got a relationship with the
Father. Angels walk this earth. No, listen. For a long time, because she was like reading me so well. She was like with pinpoint accuracy. Yeah. I was like, I don't even write a journal. Is she reading my journal or something? What's going on? Yeah, so that was kind of scary for me.
I'm his daughter. You gotta watch out.
Yeah, that's what she used to tell me. I'm God's daughter. Her picture.
Like, you think my dad's gonna let you get over?
She was telling me her picture is on his refrigerator and stuff like that. Yeah, that would have me scared. Yeah. Moving on to our next one.
Go ahead.
Prioritize sex and intimacy. It's a must. Yeah. It's a must. It goes without saying. We're brought together to be one.
Should I tell him?
Oh, the job description?
No. Oh. Before we got married, he made me put it in writing.
She can never tell me no.
I couldn't withhold sex. He made me put it in writing.
No, y'all think I'm joking. Y'all looking over there like this a joke. This ain't no joke. She can't never tell me no.
That is that important to me. I need you to. He made me put it in writing, y'all.
She's winning. She's good. she's and
sex will never be taken off the table. I need you to know.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So you said prioritize.
Yes.
Izzy said cousin.
Yes.
Prioritize
Izzy,
what?
I know, right? Izzy, it is me. It is me, Izzy. It
prioritize sex and intimacy. That one.
This is very, very important. Very, very important. Very important.
Yeah.
Fight fair. Yeah. Fight fair. because you're going to go through some stuff. The LoveByrd story is a great story, but it does not come without its few.
No hitting below the belt.
Yeah, you cannot. No hitting below the belt. Yes, fight fair. Yes,
That's good,
I'm getting
baby.
better at that,
That's
y'all.
good.
Fight fair.
Mm-hmm.
This is another very important one before I the last one, and this is very, very important. Keep working on yourself regardless if your relationship is working or not. Keep trying to be the best you can be, and you'll end up on the best side of anything. So make sure you keep working on yourself regardless.
Mm-hmm.
And my number one.
Number one. Do I need
This
drum
is
roll?
number one.
Need a drum roll?
Drum roll, please.
Hold on, I need a pen.
Let God in.
Let him in.
Let God in.
I gotta let him in.
You gotta let God in the thing, man. If you really want to,
Somebody gotta be the one to let him in.
Relationship, you gotta have God in,
Yeah.
and put Him first.
That's
And
right.
He'll take care of everything else.
All right.
You take care of
That's
all
your
that.
bird seed for the night.
Y'all-
That's your
y'all even
bird
got some
seed.
Billy Bird preaching that
Yeah.
there. We need to do a snippet. We need to cut that last what 5 minutes out. Billy Bird's sermon,
Yes.
trial sermon done.
Listen, we want to thank you guys for joining us tonight. We want to thank our
Thank you,
question
guys.
panel.
Thank you,
Wait, Amy,
boy.
you guys are fantastic, man. We're definitely going to have you guys here again.
Great.
Thank y'all so much.
Interview.
Yes,
From
great
specific
interview.
questions
Yes,
from the
you
book.
guys.
I love it.
Yes, I love it. We want to thank
Hey.
y'all. Thank our Feel Good Talk family. Hey, we're the LoveByrds.
I'm Darlene Bird.
I'm William Bird.
We're the LoveByrds.
Together we love
And we love people.
and love you. Peace.